and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. This is my spoiler talk about Loki episode 6. So this is your warning. This is my cat, Loki. Alright, so this is spoiler talk. So we've been on quite a ride on these 6 episodes, and I can't help but feel that this 6 episodes, unless you know the comic books, you might feel a bit disappointed by the end. I'm sure you watched that end credit scene where it says Loki will return for a second season. And so you'll be going, okay, but who was that big reveal? What was it that I was meant to be feeling? When we get to the end of the timey-wimey stuff, we get to the large castle-like emporium, and we see the beautiful timeline circle, and we start getting this exposition from this character who has many names. Interesting point, at one point he was a young Avenger in one of his lifetimes, but actually what you'll be wondering is like, what is the big deal about this character? And his name is Kang, and he's probably going to be the next I guess the next big MCU villain. That's where people's theories are going, and I think they might be right. We know for a definite that he's going to be in the next Ant-Man movie, so that's an interesting take going from this. What's going to happen between then? We're getting a second season, but it's probably going to be after Ant-Man, so whatever happens in the events of that, we're going to get another version of Kang, who obviously has the storyline. He's obviously started the multiverse, and we're going to get all these Kangs throughout the multiverses. We can see, because of the TVA, that he's already changed. Time has already changed because he has his statue. Loki is no longer known with his friends. He runs up to them and he goes, come, this is terrible. This is what we've got to do. We've got to do this, And he's going off on a tangent, and then realizes after a moment later there's the statue of Kang, and they don't recognize him or know who he is. The way the future of the Marvel, the next phase is going, is probably because of Kang. We're going to see how they're going to include the new Fox bought licenses, Fantastic Four. This is probably the storyline that they're going to start putting Kang involved, because Kang in the Marvel comics does have a crossover with Nathaniel Richards. Nathaniel Richards is the original Kang, on the human, not on the Avengers Earth, but on, I can't remember the name of the number of the planet, but there are variants of Kangs. I think there's one planet, 613, where Ravonna, the agent who is stepped off in our episode into her timeline, she says she's after the truth, she's after free will. And she actually does play a big part in at least the Marvel comics, and that's seemingly where they're going with her character. She's going to link up with a Kang, Nathaniel Richards from 313, to go and join up with Doom. That's where they go in the comics. And so it does seem like they're starting to really pull from the threads of the comics and follow some of the tangents. Which one they take, we won't know until season 2 or subsequent films. I'm wondering if we're going to have any kind of a Kang in the multiverse of madness, whether Wanda and the gang are going to be there, what's going to happen with the visions that we've had, because they've kind of got a puzzle piece of things happening now. But this is the first Marvel TV series where they've ended with the stamp saying that we're going to get a second season. So where we've had the ending of individual miniseries so far, like WandaVision, their characters are going to be included in the wider films, as well as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. They seem to be done, but Loki is coming back for a second season, so they've obviously got a lot more planned for his character. And so we all knew that the timepiece was part of Kang's... we knew the timepiece was bad, but we all knew that the timepiece was going to have something else to play in. We haven't been revealed properly what that thing is. It just seems to be a sentient artificial intelligence that is basically Kang's servant. It's a technology. Kang himself is human. He's kind of like a Bruce Wayne character, or more like an Iron Man character. He's brilliant, and what makes him formidable is that he collects himself, I guess, and his technology from multiverses across the multiverse, and this makes him a formidable hero. He's likened to, in some of the comics, like Thanos, because of the technology he keeps and uses to his advantage, and then versions of himself are super evil. Even though some are kind of heroes, there's also those versions that are known as Kang the Conqueror, which is where those titles, those other Kang titles comes in. So obviously Loki's relationship with Sylvia is very strained now. He doesn't know what's happening with his friends. He's kind of stuck in a place. It's a bit of a sad place to leave our audience, just there. Doesn't really feel like it's finished anything. It's more like it started something. And I feel like I was hoping there was going to be a contained story that finishes something that maybe kind of gives us a future of what's going to happen. But this really does feel like a stepping stone. So every episode I really enjoyed. Episode 5 was probably my favorite. Loki Crocodile was amazing, or alligator. But it does feel like they've left us hanging somewhat. The future is very exciting. I enjoyed the fight sequence, but it was a lot of exposition and side character pieces kind of being moved like a chessboard. Let me know your thoughts down below. Where you think this is going to go. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.